What up? What up? What up? I'm back home. I'm back home from the vigil. Had a community vigil tonight in Minneapolis. And I just wanted to, man, this one really bothered me today. Seeing kids killed again in school. Uh, that's just very, very bad. Very, very bad, extra bad. Especially with all the information coming out. But I mean, when we got the information about the mass shooter, the school shooter, it like everything that we were looking at was just like this is pretty wild. But I remembered that symbol that he had on his weapon. He had that symbol that I saw earlier on, and I said, man, we've seen that before. And I'm just like, man, I should probably go do a stream and we could just dive into some of it tonight because I'm up but I can't sleep anyways. I can't do gaming tonight. I won't be able to focus anyways. So we're gonna spend a late stream diving into this and going into some of the things that came out. Hey friends, Minnesota's hurting. Please let's put out healing vibes to the community. Who is in the vigil stream? It should be posted by now. Sorry, it wasn't it wasn't stable the entire time. And there were a lot of cameras out there and just a lot of people. The entire park was full. There was nowhere to go. I mean, you could walk. There's enough room to move, but the entire field was full of people tonight. Really good messaging. Calls to action more so than just like thoughts and prayers. The gathering was for that, to be honest. That's what that vigil is. It's like a time to gather and pray and be together in community. But I'm glad they used the time to try to call into action instead of just the status quo, which that's kind of what we've had time and time again, is just the same thing over and over and over again with no change at all. And that just can't happen. And especially if you can identify issues ahead of time, that should be a red flag, or that should be a reason why a person can't purchase a firearm easily. I don't even know why it's up for debate. I really don't. These firearms that they had were legally purchased. Okay, legally purchased firearms. So they weren't illegally taken, and I have thoughts on that too as well. And for the people that are like, we need the weapons because of the tyrannical government, we have a tyrannical government right now, and those same very people are not interested in everything they LARP for. They're not into it. They support it. They support the tyranny. So the LARP of that doesn't exist, and even if it ever came down to it, we would be able to get firearms. It's 2025. Like if we took assault weapons off the streets in the peacetime, if it ever came down to actually having to deal with a tyrannical force, we would get weapons. It's not hard in America. Oh my goodness. All right, you can take them off the streets in, like, we call it like the peacetime or whatever, and keep them out of communities. And if we ever needed well-regulated militias to combat a tyrannical government, guess what? We would be able to get the firearms. It would happen. It would be no problem. We'd be able to outfit the entire whatever we'd have in a metaphorical reality, which not really metaphorical. You have a very tyrannical American government right now, but not to the point where we need to form well-regulated militias to fight against it. Just right now it's a lot of politics and propaganda, but they're pushing the needle, they're pushing the buttons for sure. But the people that LARP that are not interested at all. Our military's in the streets and the parks and the Capitol, and that's fine, I guess. So you'd think that the people that would be for all of the messaging about defending your independence against that, where are they? They support that. They support it, which is wild. It's the propaganda of it all. I also would like to see your guys's thoughts. Define assault weapons, high capacity magazines, weapons that have a high firing rate, cycling rate. You can get a lot of bullets out in a short period of time. We don't need to play dumb. AR-15s, weapons that can be modified, all of that. We don't need to play stupid. You know exactly what it is. That's what the right wing will do. They'll hit definition. They'll define you. We'll define the assault weapon. Okay, so all right, what's the AR-15 stand for? What's the fire rate? What's the cycle rate of the M4? What's the effective area target? Oh, you don't know? Okay, invalid. So they're gonna do that. They'll hit you with definition shit until they're blue in the face. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care. Okay. And Democratic politicians need to be like that too. There's no middle ground. All right, Republicans, or it is them and those like them, can cope and seethe, and that's where they need to be, because the right wing and Donald Trump will implement policies that literally harm Americans and take money out of your pockets and give it to billionaires. And guess what they do? I voted for that. So guess what? It's time for the Democrats to put forth policies like assault weapon bans, and the Republicans can cope and seethe. And then we can say, I voted for that. And then they can policies like assault weapon can cope and seethe. We can say, and then we're now here, and like they'll cry, and like it'll be content, and then they'll like there'll be informations, and that'll be a whole thing. But that's what it has to be. I mean, the Republicans are on cope and seethe politics anyways, so give it back, especially with Gavin Newsom with his tweets. You're playing the game already? Okay, bet. Then give the policies, and then when the Republicans cry, let them cry. That's what it needs to be at. That's where we need to be. And that goes for more than just the gun violence. I mean, we're talking about gun violence, but they need to be about that. The NRA rating, who gives a fuck? Oh, I got a triple star B plus Israeli backed NRA rating. Yeah, that's what my opponent, they gave him an F. I'm the American candidate because the NRA loves me. Who gives a, honestly, like, fuck them. Truly. Invest in veterans that are willing to provide actual weapons training and aren't going to promote like unfettered access to weapons in like the streets. How about that? How about the Democratic Party embrace something like that? There you go. Plenty of veterans out here that have no nonsense, that support no nonsense gun laws, that aren't like going to take guns away. It's not what it is. It's making it harder for crazy people to access them, and that should be not even up for debate. But there is, unfortunately. There's a lot of fight to that. So the people that will cope and seethe need to just cope and seethe and cry. And like that's it. And Democrats need to have a spine and enact policies. And when they have power, because the pendulum's going to swing. I'm telling you, it's just going to swing. Might not swing in a way that everyone's happy with. I'm just telling you that now. I'm already seeing the purity testing. Boy, be a rough one for people that want a lot. You're not going to get it. You're going to have to settle. I'm going to have to settle too, eventually, I'm sure. It is what it is. But they got to enact policies that are whatever, aren't going to try to meet the middle, meet the halfway, it never works. It never does. Thank you, Karen Renee, for becoming a supporter of the channel. I appreciate that. Now, your drone mapped every MAGA flag in your neighborhood. Damn. Full auto air rifles. These attacks aren't being conducted with air rifles. They're being conducted with real weapons. Air guns, airsoft, and paintball. That's why that wouldn't even factor into that. It really wouldn't. Democrats have tried over and over many bills of gun control. When they have power, they didn't. Now when they actually can do it, they don't. They do it when it's like right now when the Republicans have full power, and then it's like if the Democratic Party gets power again, then are they gonna do it? Are they gonna be like, oh, this would be bad for the midterms or something? So we'll make Republicans mad if we do gun control now, and then they don't. Ironically, it was Trump last term that had the ban the bump stocks. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it was Trump. Trump pushed that one. I don't think we've had anything else since then. Ironically, that seriously tackles. I mean, except for at the state level, state level stuff. But like we saw tonight at the vigil, if you were watching it, I think it was Ilhan Omar or Angie Craig or one of the faith leaders. I can't remember right now, but they mentioned like we live in a union. Okay, like someone in a state that doesn't have gun laws like Minnesota does can literally just drive in. Okay, so like we have our state laws and that's great, but we have states that don't care, and that's an issue if they can like cross state lines, and we don't have like there's no passport. Like you don't have to have a passport to go to Wisconsin. You just go there. Like we have, it's just how it's cool. America's cool like that, I guess. Um, but it's a problem if like certain states have different gun policies. So it's got to be at the federal level. It's got to be at the federal level. Is it hopium for any of this to happen while the Republicans control the entire government? Yeah, but it's like there's got to be a movement behind it. Got to be got to be people interested in it, and it's got to start somewhere. So earlier I mentioned that I recognize the symbol. I'm like, man, we've seen that before. I can't remember where we saw that before, but I swear we've seen that. So this kid had to have connected to the Nazi Satanist sects that have been indoctrinating school shooters all over the U.S., right? Which is a thing. And I didn't know that. And we're gonna get into this. This is why I said this is late night. This is late night thoughts, okay? Because we're gonna get into some shit here. We're gonna get into some shit here, okay? Um, that have to do with this Satan cult. And I'm not one that's quick to jump into religious shit like that. You guys know I'm not into the religion stuff anymore, really. But if they're driven by a certain ideology, then it's what it is. So if there's like a Satanist aspect to the belief or like the community that they're involving themselves in, then that's what it is. And I'm starting to see this in some of the deep dives into what this person was believing in and posting, because right away, I mean, if you did I had a meme idea in my brain when I was going to the vigil where I could do like a tally, because people were looking for that earlier today. People were looking for like, is this guy left wing? Is this guy right wing? Is he Democrat? Is he Republican? And I should have done a meme where I'm doing like a tally of all of the hate he put on everything, or they or she they. I'm just gonna say they, because I'm gonna tell you why I'm like not like I stand up for trans people, but I really feel, and this is my feelings. I'm putting my feelings first. They became trans as part of an internet, and hear me out. This isn't taking away from the existence of trans people, because you guys know I stand strong for my trans homies in the LGBTQ plus community. But the shit that this person was engaged in, I really think that they purposely became trans as like a way to direct hate. All right, and hear me out on that, okay? And it's not, and that's just my theory. I could be wrong, but the way that they were grasping at, they went at everything. He wrote it in Russian just to grab hate at Russians. Obviously, easy one. But then when you look at and why I couldn't translate the shit earlier, it's because he doesn't know how to write. He wrote English. He wrote it as if he was writing it in English, and that's why none of the words made sense. And he like directly translated English into Russian, and you can't do that. And that's why the words didn't make sense. But I really feel like he was grabbing onto any issue, and like obviously the issue with trans people come from the right wing, and they hate trans people, and but that is like what is. And also hear me out, and I'm not going to try to sound crazy, and I know I'm not crazy, because the soy pill posted a tweet earlier, and I was like, God, this is perfect, because this is exactly what I was thinking too. Where is it? So soy pill put this out at 4:24. So I was already like getting ready for dinner and shit, so I didn't see. But it's funny that the shooter was an online schizo, which is true. All over the weapons and all over the firearms, it's filled with like internet 4chan memes and only things you would know if you're like in the internet. Like if you're like on the internet in deep forums like that, like this Edips thing. This is a dig on iDubbbz, who's a YouTuber. 99% of you have no fucking idea what that means. Unfortunately, I do. I'm not, because I'm on the internet all the time. I'm not in the deep corners of the internet, but it's like this is all internet schizophrenic shit, I believe, and I agree with Soy Pill's take. This is the way I'm trying to put it. Anti-Semitic, check for sure. All right, the message is like, hey, I've talked about examples of criticizing the Israeli government, and that is not anti-Semitic. The messages that were written on the weapons today were anti-Semitic. That's a perfect example of like actual anti-Semitism, where they say, where you said like 6 million wasn't enough and shit, for sure. without a doubt, anti-Semitic. Okay, that's the definition right here. Actually, now we have a reference, to be honest, to go back to, well, criticizing Netanyahu's anti-Semitic. Nope, it's not. Here's the actual anti-Semitism type shit. Anyways, anti-Semitic for sure, pro-Russian, seemingly, like, has all the merch and stuff, but you can really, like, if you know, if this person knows how to wield propaganda and like knows how to work people, which based upon his letter to his family, which is completely gaslighting, manipulation, gaslighting on level 10. When you read the letter he wrote to his family about how, oh, this is not, your fault, and then, oh, it's just like layers of gaslighting that is deep rooted and shit. So he knows how to manipulate people, including people, and he knows after he's gonna do his act of cowardice and took himself out, that we'd all be sitting here doing this. So, but which is why I'm telling you, I think there's no specific one ideology. It's like something psycho, but it like fuels hate from multiple areas, which is why I think to draw hatred to trans people, I think he became trans, or she, sorry. And I think that's why. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong if like they were legitimate, but I really think they did that as like part of this like online hate thing to direct hatred to trans people, because all of this will, like, this all day long, it's just been a laundry machine of people coming up with narratives of hate of like this shooter, and like, oh, he's an anti-Catholic Muslim terrorist. Are you not, like, or whatever, or he's a Russian spy in America or something. And I think that was all by design from this lunatic. Not soy pill. Soy pill's dope. Talk about the mass shooter. And I only could guess this based upon reading the letter to his family, and we'll look at that again, and I'll show you what I mean. That the gaslighting he was giving to his family. There's no reason to doubt he wouldn't be gaslighting the entire world, looking at his messages all over. And there's actually one specific message that did stand out to me on the weapon, and we'll get to it. Obviously anti-Indian, trans, iDubbbz fan, but that's like it more so. I think the iDubbbz fan thing, he's anti-iDubbbz, because if you're in on the, and if you're in on the iDubbbz lore, iDubbbz has come from right-wing online person to now he's more left-wing for sure. And his base and his subscribers hate that. We actually reacted to an iDubbbz video when it came to H3. God, this is such internet, but this adds to my argument. This is internet slop shit that you have to know only if you're unemployed and terminally online. I'm just being honest, like me. I don't have a real job. I have my YouTube channel, but like I have the stupid privilege of understanding that dog shit of the internet. But anyways, he had the eDubbbz thing, which is a meme against iDubbbz. And there's a lot of like super far right people now that obviously hate iDubbbz because he's had more of a left wing turn in his YouTube videos. Find a right wing post that shows all of the ideologies and not just one or two, which also adds to my argument that all of these things are what the schizo Nazi far right internet users engage in. Not necessarily the iDubbbz fandom part. They're not iDubbbz fans anymore. They're mad at iDubbbz because iDubbbz was like their, back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago, iDubbbz was an edgelord. Going up to Tana Mojo and whatever and saying the N-word to her in like a meet and greet. Like fucking, he was nuts. But he's not that way anymore, and his fans hate it. So he's way more left wing. He's probably more left wing than me now. He really went the other way. But anyways, that doesn't matter. I really feel like all of these fit neatly into like an online schizo far right internet user. But we're gonna get into some more of that too, and also I'll give you guys some more of the receipts from earlier if you missed it. What is iDubbbz? A YouTuber. You used to watch his content cop stuff back in the day. He just did one. It was kind of mid on Ethan. Yeah, 6.7 million followers. Okay. Back in the day, I watched all of his content cop stuff. The day he like cucked out to Sam Hyde though, which is weird. That's I think the video that was like Why did he? I don't know. He like Sam Hyde is not a good person at all, and we've watched a video that he's done, but like iDubbbz did a Sam Hyde thing, and then like was a little baby about it, and like I don't know. He didn't like play into the bit that Sam Hyde was clearly laying for him, and he didn't play. I don't know. That's the day I was like, all right, iDubbbz is. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's changed it, but then I changed afterwards, so maybe I don't know. He changed before I did. Maybe that's why I was an iDubbbz fan, because I was definitely right wing when I was younger. Like I continue to tell y'all. So that's why I maybe even watched iDubbbz content back in the day. But his content cops were fine though, I think. Like he would do videos calling out like Logan Paul back in the day. When Logan Paul was scamming on his channel back in the day. Or doing the or just a bunch of YouTubers, big YouTubers like from 15 years ago that were doing grift content basically, and he would like call them out, and like it was like deep dives with like well edited videos about it. And he just did one recently about Ethan and the H3 channel. Okay, you got to be internet, you got to be on the internet. I don't know how else to say it. Okay, internet shit. So iDubbbz is hated, like I told you now, because he's not right wing anymore. He's more left leaning, like Free Palestine left, all that for sure. He's like all that now. So he's got like a hate community, and they're all fit right into this package here. He would have wrote iDubbbz, not eDubbbz on there if he was an actual iDubbbz fan. So we got the confirmation after I had signed off. We got official confirmation from the state sources that Robin Westman was the mass shooter for sure. Robin was born with the name Robert and changed their name legally to Robert to coincide with their gender transition. There's the official paperwork, all that. Order granting the name change. Okay, parents signed off. Robin's mother had a tight association with the school that Robin would later target. Okay, so they had a family connection. It wasn't just like a random. I don't even think it was an act against Catholics, like some of the MAGAs are saying. It literally was like his mom worked at the school. There could have been religious hatred, but he had hatred for everything. Probably, maybe he did hate Catholics, but he hated Jews and blacks and Hispanics and all. They name them, the whole list of everybody, all of us. Some Hispanics, everyone, any one of us. He had some hate for him. Even hate for the LGBTQ plus community. He had a slur written on one of the magazines. So I mean, I feel like yes, there's validation in that he was targeting a church and people that were practicing faith, but I think it's just like in general, like if you believe in a God, no matter what your religion would have been. But the reason why it was this Catholic church was because of his mom working there, or because of her mom. Sorry, I'm not trying. I really am stuck in my own narrative about the trans issue with this individual, so I'll try to be better. I was getting corrected on it, but it's like, it's not really the time. Like that's just, is now the time to correct that on this one, on this issue here with the mass shooter. I don't know. Could be wrong. I'm trying. But I really do feel that they aren't like, they weren't genuinely trans based upon their ideology in the background, like trying to be a different, like finally becoming your true identity, you know, after like living in a lie, and then you truly become yourself. I feel like that, I don't feel like this person was doing that. I feel like they're adding to the hatred, which adds to the hate of trans people by becoming like almost putting a target on himself or themselves because they knew what would happen after they commit this act. That'd be the first thing, because they're in on they were aware of all of the hatred of the internet and like how to and they knew how to wield it. So again, I'm probably full of my own narrative and bias. I'm just telling you all about it. Plus, this is the late night thoughts, anyways. I'm not reporting shit other than what I feel right now. So you can correct me in the comments, and I don't delete your comments if like you're like, no, I truly believe that she was trans, and you know, we got to stand and like, and I could be wrong, but I truly feel this. I truly feel how I feel. Robin also had a YouTube channel where until recently they posted a handful of videos of little importance with the wash machine, okay, and like the instruction manual. I read the entire, oh, guess here it is. I read the entire letter to the family and friends on stream. And it is completely like manipulative gaslighting. Like in all ways. And it's like, I wonder if, did they use AI to help? Because the writing on here is so different than what we're seeing on the weapons and the firearms. Or were they just that good at manipulation? But this is all gaslighting, manipulative bullshit. So arms. Were they just gaslighting bullshit? You can do this to the family. Imagine with all of the understanding of the internet and the hatred that is fueled on the internet, and how they could gaslight all of us, right? After that, the video shows him showing off the weapons that would be used in the attack: an AR-15 Mossberg Shockwave 12 shotgun, a handgun, and a revolver. Take this, all of you. Fuck this world. We know that based on some of the information Robin showed us, that this attack was planned for quite some time, showing an in-depth sketch of the sanctuary of the church, complete with entrance and exits. We saw in some of the video clips, it's an entire diagram, put a knife in it. Robin also posted another video of their journal, which was written entirely in Cyrillic letters, but using English spelling of words. People are actively working to decipher it, which I do have that. And it's going to be cringe because of the account that did it, but it is what it is. Where is it now? Trump White House updates did it. Yeah, we're the Trump White House updates X, but here's the, fuck it, here's the manifesto on AI translated for you. So it is what it is. They were able to do it and took the time to screenshot every page, it looks like. So we can just read a couple of these because I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's just the ramblings of a psychotic, actual evil person. True evil, because they knew how to wield it. It's like, I think you could get away with the ignorance or whatever of like, oh, this person was like, I don't know, maybe they were bullied or whatever, but they knew exactly how to wield their hatred with the messaging they had on all of the firearms and what they put on the firearms. They knew exactly what to say. And Robin putting all that shit on there. So, manifestation of thoughts. This is a direct translation of the first page from June 23rd, 2025. Manifestation of thoughts. I have had thoughts of mass murder for a long time. I am very conflicted with writing this journal. I need to get my thoughts out without getting put on a watch list. Ha! This journal is not going to be organized or easy to read. It will be a brain barf of thought. Lately, I have been entranced into the setting of mass shooters. I have known about these events for decades, even at the time being morbidly obsessed. So there's also that aspect too. And like that's something entirely other than anyone that's looking for a political narrative. And I think that is connected to their interest in the Satan cult thing. And I'm not a religious nut, so don't even hit me with that. If you're like, Satan ain't real, hell ain't real, I agree. But there's still people that do believe in all that and act in crazy ways. And I didn't make the rules. So they have like a connection. Now, I know I'm going all over the place. I'm trying to stay consistent, but I'm trying to keep my own thoughts together. But there's this Satan cult, Nazi Satanist cult online that uses this symbol. And we've seen it before, and we saw it with the Robert Cremo, the music video. This dude, that the other mass shooter, had that symbol spinning in the video, remember? That's where we've seen it before. And he had this shit all over he had it on his little character in the notebook and shit. Okay? Not trying to scare y'all. I'm just being like, there's probably like an internet cult that has some dark shit going on with whatever this is, and it looks like the shooter was involved in that. They put it on their rifle before carrying out the mass shooting, and that's exactly where we've seen it. Where what is it? It's the same symbol used by the July 4th shooter Robert Crimo in his music videos and the book that he published. What website is this? Dark web. Internet that you can't get to unless you install software onto your computer. Don't even worry about it. If you don't know what it is, you're fine. You're better off. You're in a better place. So, I mean, people are going to play into the possession stuff. I'm not about that. I just feel like he was indoctrinated by the hate that can come into this. And then obviously symbols are wielded all the time. Like hate symbols are wielded, no problem. So it ain't about being possessed by demons or whatever. It's just he knows how to wield that type of imagery and shit, and obviously took it from a previous instance. But also, it seems like he's obsessed with mass shootings. Literally writing it in the manifestation of thoughts. I have been entranced into the setting of mass shooters. Okay, that's beyond any politics, or if I can just person whatever. That is like this person worshipped the idea of mass shootings in general. Okay, and that's like otherworldly. That's evil, and that's beyond any understanding of what I could paint, other than the hatred that is fueled online that I see constantly, which was put into the messaging over all the rifles and his shotgun and his pistol. As of lately, I've really let myself go, indulging into every mass shooting video I can find. My interest in specifically school shootings started, I think, in 7th grade. I remember one day I was talking to Valerie. She was my crush, and I was on and near kind of a high. I asked them, if there was a school shooting, where would you hide? I don't remember why I asked that, but it seemed to scare them. Then I laughed off to myself. You know what I mean? Like, hey, also, it's got to start in the parenting too. I'm gonna be honest. Parents, I mean, like I ain't gonna say go at the level I had, where I like was absolutely had no freedom really, and that caused me to go and try shit because I was told I can't, and I understand giving your kids more leeway. But boy, like if we even had a speck of dust in our room, like the whole idea, like I had friends where their parents couldn't go into their room. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, what? Your room? Well, I don't know. I just got to stay there. I mean, the house was my dad's house. What do you mean? I had no privacy. I had to keep the door open, even though I was just sitting in there by myself. Are you shitting me? So it's like it's hard for me to understand because I had really no personal freedom. We had some. We got a little older, I guess, but beyond that, like parents were checking our room and both of us, me and my brother. Not that we were like they were worried about something like this happening. I just thought it was normal parenting. Just making sure you don't have, I don't know, the kid didn't pick up dog shit on the floor and put it in the bed or something, or check, I don't know, and grab a knife or a needle or something by accident. Or like got stuck to their clothes or something. Like, why wouldn't you check your kid's room? That's crazy to me. I don't know. Call me a boomer, I guess, but I agree with my parent. I'd agree with my parents on that one. At this point, like, how could you? This diary was written in June. You know, unless they didn't live with their mom, but I think they did. But I don't know. Like, if there's no way I would have like, if my parents saw me have some Russian shit, they would be like, "What the fuck are you? What is wrong?" Anything. Like, if I came home and had a FSB patch Russian thing, they would think, "What is happening? Are you okay? That is not normal. It's not a fad to like start getting interested into Russian FSB stuff. That's not. It doesn't naturally happen. Ironically." No American male teenage boy is like, you know what? I mean, I'm interested in what the Russians are doing. Not a single one, unless they're indoctrinated. That's it. That's the only way. I'm interested in a lot of shit America has to offer ourselves. Russian shit, not there. So it's odd. So anyways, they had an obsession with mass shooters in general. Okay, to the point it seems like it was a fetish almost. Even we're like joking, like dark, super ultra dark humor to the friends. Another one, I got in big trouble for this, but not too bad. I basically promised I didn't mean anything. I got suspended for a week, I think. The police never went deep, but would never be, but would be surprised. I remember, hey, thank you so much for the follow. I remember every school I went to, I had some fantasy at some point or another of shooting up my school. Even every job, just fantasizing about committing mass murder. When I was in 7th grade, I don't remember ever talking to a therapist. I was basically mad. Sure. Damn it, I hate the arrows block the shit, man. Can I make it smaller so the arrows don't block it? Sure, I was not a threat. There you go. I was not a threat. Then lockdown, me in a meeting room when I was at school for that week. LMAO. I think that was my step in my thought and then realizing some feelings of hatred and malice in my head. I think that committing a mass shooting is not the right thing to do. I can't let myself do anything like that, but god fucking damn it, feels so good to indulge in the thoughts. And gaslighting themselves. This is levels of mental depravity that I'm not equipped to diagnose. I don't have enough letters before my name to diagnose the mental issues that this person has that is deep rooted, but to the point where they're just fetishizing the idea of committing a mass murder is pretty evil. And if there is a hell, I hope this person's in the lowest level of hell possible, because how do you, kids, dude. There's nothing that would justify murdering any civilians, no matter how old they are, but it's like we're in a very dark place to where it's not like a one-off thing to where kids are being murdered. It's like a regular thing. I have so many reasons why I cannot do it. I can't do it to my family. I love them and they love me. I simply can't do that to them. But then does it. So gaslighting themselves. Another huge reason I glamorize is my addiction to entertainment. I have lost all long term. LOL. They write LOL in Russian. How do you do that? I don't know where the LOL would be. Is there, oh, this one right here? Is this the LOL in Russian but written in as if it were directly from English? I think it's right there. The Russian, they don't have LOL in Cyrillic. Like they do if you're English and you do it, but it doesn't. That's not a thing in the language. That's why it didn't make sense earlier today. I tried to use the Google Lens to do this myself, and it was it was nonsensical. I was trying to translate it into legit Russian, and it couldn't. So I wouldn't want people finding my skit clips. LMAO, man, clips are so ass, and I would have got fucking roasted. My skit clips. Also, I don't really think my name sounds like a school shooter name. LOL, Robin Desmond. Nah, and my face isn't crazy enough. I ain't an. My theory's right. I'm sorry, I'm right. And listen, it was to draw hatred to the trans community by becoming trans themselves. I think I'm right on that. If anyone has a ulterior theory, then put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. Like, I'm not enough of a like. I don't draw enough attention to myself to like to warrant like a lot of like basically what's happening right now. Anyway, for the people that read this, if any, hopefully not abroad, LMAO, don't immediately freak out. I really just want a place to put my thoughts. I can't talk to a therapist or family because I will immediately be reported and put on a watch list. Bananas. I feel like I might already be on some kind of list due to my constant consumption of mass murder and violent content. Literally, like, is the poster child of how it gets to the point of like they're giving away the when you consume that all day long. That's why I'm like that's why I like in general like I tell my stream because we cover some pretty crazy events, violent events, and if you consume it all the time, it will do something to you, and it's not good. Obviously, it won't be on some like mass murder fantasy shit, but like it still fucks with your brain. This person, this Robin mass shooter psycho freak, was literally obsessed with it, and tells you. I recently watched the films Elephant, Class, Heart of America. I basically skipped the whole movies and just watched the massacre scenes. I don't even know why the internet explicitly films. Funny story, you know? Like, it would be upsetting and suspicious in FBI if someone saw my YouTube history, but I don't think it is weird enough for law enforcement to step in. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. I am tired, and this writing style is hard and stupid. I'm writing in Cyrillic text, but English in phonics. I also sprinkle some. Oh, so it's not. It's Cyrillic. They're really telling you in the thing like what they're doing. I have been learning Russian for many years, but never really learned. I also think I might already suffer that I could write in Cyrillic very inconsistently, but hey, it works for me. Jesus. Literally in the is telling you I suck at this, but I'm doing it anyways. The guys, the layers, like this person is self-aware of their site. Like, again, I don't have enough, I'm not educated enough to diagnose this, but it is layers of bad to understand that, hey, I'm doing this, the method of my madness is pretty fucking cringe, huh? That's, dude, that's a level of self-awareness I haven't really seen here. Since I got access to the internet, I have been seeking out gore and violence. I have been fascinated with firearms and weapons since I was little, which that happens to a lot of young men, especially with the access to the internet. I mean, I remember being a kid. I remember being a child and just looking it up. I'll be honest. When I was younger, when the internet existed, I was looking it up. I wasn't looking into fucking mass shootings, but like the taboo of, I mean, now there's no taboo of like violence. Like, it's in movies, you know, it's in video games. I remember back in the day, a little like Mortal Kombat was a big deal. It was getting canceled because there was blood, and now, I mean, you know, it was just different times, I guess. So it was like the blood or like the gore and violence and shit was taboo. So I was like seeking it out, and now it's like, I guess, unfortunately normalized. And now I'm like, I don't think I would. It's just in video games now, or whatever. So, and I wasn't. But back when I was younger, I would look shit up on the internet. I consider myself a pretty non-likable person, but not just on firearms. LOL. I definitely have a big ego and a bit of superiority complex. Yeah. I think the reason I've let myself go is my fear of health complications. We saw that in the, when he mentioned that in the letter to the family, that I think I have cancer because I vape. Feel bad for me. I gave myself cancer. I'm a victim. For over 7 years now, the consequences seem to be making themselves known. I am terrified of cancer. Here it is again. Dying painfully. I think my major aspiration has always been my idea to take control. It seems to give me solace to visualize in thoughts of planning an attack. Today I assembled a school shooter cosplay. Brother. I have a ton of airsoft guns and gear, and I put together a wicked layout, including an AR, pump shotgun, 2 pistols, as well as many mags and gear. So literally is writing about how they were obsessed with violence and like mass shooters, both with watching mass shootings and also obsessing and worshiping the shooters, the ones carrying out the perpetrators of the murders. But also was obsessed with like, but it seemed in the writing was like gaslighting themselves, like, oh, I could never do it, but I will. I could never carry out a mass shooting, but I will do it. Gaslighting themselves. I'm terrified of cancer. My aspiration has always been my idea to take control. To take control. And then act it out. So then you act out your thoughts. This has to be like textbook, like hitting every single red flag, leading to something very bad. Like, oh, I visualized it, and then I was consumed by it, and then I started acting it out, and then I planned the real one. That seems to be like how it happens every single time. And then in this I don't know, this diary manifest. I don't even know if this is a manifesto. I'm not seeing any. They're just talking about the meta of what they're doing with the writing and actually explaining their obsession. But I'm not really seeing like motivations as to like why they carried out the attack. Like, oh, I hate the Catholic people, so I have to do this, because I'm not seeing that yet. I'm just seeing an obsession with the mass shootings, mass shooters, and extreme violence that was at a almost like a fetish level, and then acting it out and giving into that. I have really been wanting to put that together, erasing for the moment any left to do, and the gear honestly felt amazing. I could feel the gravity of my outfit, and I made out as if shooting in my apartment, including a police shootout. And basically, it was really fun and satisfying. It was relieving, and I didn't want to take it off. I've never really done that before, creating a layout specifically for shooting up a school. There's nothing that no alarm bells. There who is watching this person? No one at the airsoft facility or wherever. I mean, did this happen in a field? Did this even happen? Maybe did this happen? It could just be that they made it up because they're good at gaslighting. So this Robin person could have never done this, but like wrote out that they did. Because if you, I can't imagine you go to a airsoft facility and they let you fucking mimic a school shooting. I can't envision that would be a thing. You'd have to go out and do like a field and do all that. But even then, like, what is that? So either that happened and at a legit place or somewhere they made up, or they just made all of this up. That they never really acted this out. But either way, that's terrifying. That they made up, or they just made all of this up. But yeah, the idea is there, and they have the brain for that. But either way, like, you'd have to imagine what facility, what airsoft facility would it says in the apartment. Did I miss that? Oh, in his apartment. I could feel the gravity of my outfit as I made out of the oh, no. I made out as if shooting in my apartment, including a police shootout. Oh, he was doing all this in his apartment then? Like acting it all out there? Okay. That's in this segment. And then practicing being in a police shootout too? I've never really done that before, creating a layout specifically for shooting up a school around the time I was in 7th grade. The parents aren't like, what is the parents doing? Like we played, when I was a kid, we played pretend guns, but we were out playing army in the backyard, and we were using clothes hangers. We weren't like in the house doing schizophrenic ass shit like I'm in a police shootout, I'm gonna hold it down here or whatever. Like, and I don't. I mean, I'm wondering where the parents are. 7th grade, and they're all up in, like, you're not monitoring their internet, because this is a new age now. I was born without. I was in middle school. I was 7th grade. The internet was just starting, really. Still, you didn't have. I mean, you had AOL and MySpace. That's basically the social media. There was nothing much on emails. Maybe there was chat rooms. I don't know, but I just know about AOL and MySpace. But you got, the internet is a part of life now. So as a parent, you like got to know what your kids are looking at on the internet. Like, you just have to do that. I couldn't imagine. Like, we couldn't. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna do what my parents did. We couldn't even use the internet. The internet was evil. The internet had devil stuff on it. It does, but I'm not gonna do all that. But there needs to be like parental controls. You gotta at least know what they're doing. You can do it. You have trackers and shit. You don't even have to be like, give me your phone. You can like be on your phone and then see what they're doing on their phone. I don't know. Different reality, I guess. But I can't imagine not knowing what your kids are watching on the internet and like what they're doing, and like talk about it, because there's a lot on the internet right now. So if anything, it might give you an opportunity for something to talk about. What'd you see on the internet today, little Johnny? I can't imagine that reality. Fuck that. Oh, I went on Elon's app. You did what? You're grounded. Couldn't imagine. But anyway, I won't do that. But like, they could use the internet. I'd be fine. I would just be knowing what websites they're on. And if all this was happening while they were in 7th grade, where were the parents? The heck? Nerf guns, but never dressed the part. Today was more a serious feeling than I expected. I felt a bit of guilt, but mainly enjoyment. When I went to look in the mirror, I really didn't like seeing my face, so I put on a skull mask. I liked that look, but still didn't like seeing my size and forehead. I put on a baseball cap and a direct call out to Nicholas Cruz. I almost found it weird. I wanted seeing my face. I have literally been creating shooting scenarios in my mind, including a school, university, malls, and stores. I have tons of realism mods and stories to enact these events. Mainly for fun, but I also see how I could maybe cope with things. Nonetheless, I love it and crave more. So they had video game mods to help them recreate the school shooting. And Roblox, probably Roblox. I get bored of the NPC behaviors and crave more fear and devastation, which scares me. I don't want to do this, but I feel a deep calling to create devastation and death. NPC behaviors. That's definitely right wing, or not right. I shouldn't even. It's on the right. It is right wing, but not normal conservative stuff. This is deep dark web internet right wing shit. Talk about NPCs out here, and like they do videos where they're walking in public and people really believe that there's which means NPC. God damn it. NPC means non-player character in a video game. So like, if you interact with like a store owner, like say you're playing a video game and you got to go buy a weapon. The weapon giver is not a real other player that's playing. It's a non-player character in the game that you have to interact with. So there's a big part of the internet that believe real people out here are NPCs, both either as a meme or literally believe that there's people out here that aren't plugged in, and they're like out here like reptile people, NPCs. We're in the Matrix. They literally either A, it's a meme, and they just say, "Oh, you're an NPC, bro," meme, or B, actually literally believe it, which this person did. I don't think I will do it, but I can be certain. There are definitely shootings that stick out more clearly in my head than others. Some stand out more than others due to the kill count, devastation, or good, maybe bad performance of the shooters. So fetishizing every aspect of the murders, the mass murders, given ratings of the performance. I wanted to see big events happen on my birthday, June 17th, and I was so disappointed at what went down. This loser, Brendan Clyde, trying to shoot up a courthouse, idiot. Bro wasn't thinking mad shit, and is tactical and got absolutely roasted by a security guard with a pistol. Bro killed no one, barely grazed a guard's vest. Didn't make it in the building. He ran away and bled out in a parking lot while pissing himself. How pitiful, what a disgrace. I'm embarrassed to have that be the shooting that happened on my birthday. I think his biggest mistake was attacking a courthouse. He also advertised his attack for days by posting across the street, "It's all about surprise. Bro wasn't locked in. Bro wasn't after what I want to do." Dark. But internet lingo all the way. This is internet hate embodied into reality. This is the dark corners of the internet in real life, unleashed on innocent people. Kids, children, actually, in this one. But that's exactly what this is. All the darkest, every dark thing you've ever seen on the internet, this individual has tried to embody that, specifically with the mass shootings part. But also, as clearly, when we look at their weapons and the messaging on there, is adding in lots of internet centric, but also real life too, not just internet, because there's anti-Semitism in real life. There's bigotry towards black people in real life, Mexicans, Jews, like that's all that. You don't need the internet for that. We know that, but it's fueled on the internet now, because without the internet fueling it, I think we really would be there'd be bigoted people, but who would they go be bigoted to? They have no one to be bigoted to out here in real life. They're their own groups, and that shit's a dead end, and those places have no future in the places they go hang out, right? So without the internet, I think bigotry would exist, but it wouldn't be as prevalent. But it's the internet fuels all of that. So that's like it's the way they're talking. I have a deep fascination with some men in particular. Adam Lanza. Who's Adam Lanza? I gotta look this up. So we're all just wide awake and can't sleep right now? We're all just up. Why did he do it? We're reading his ramblings in English finally. Well, they were in English anyways, just in Cyrillic. But I can't read that, obviously, so I need it translated. Oh, Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook shooter. December 14th, 2012, a mass shooting occurred, obviously, at Sandy Hook. This is also when the right wing started going schizo, and we'll call them the woke right. The Alex Jones woke right started lying about school shootings. And this is when it all went with 2012, yeah. Remember, that was the year the world was supposed. Maybe the world did end in 2012, like they said it was supposed to, or we just like survived. But that's when the right really started going super schizo on lies about guns and mass shootings. I can remember vividly when I heard about it. I remember sitting on the computer, lounging in, I think, 4th grade, Wii U or just something, doing work on our computers, when a little notification popped up on screen saying 20 children and 6 adults shot and killed at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newton, Connecticut. I remember not really knowing what that meant. I don't remember my classmates or teachers' reactions, but I know that image of that little notification popping up is always stuck with me. For some reason, I can't get it out of my head. It's such a perfect event. I love thinking about it. I love thinking about what it was like to be there on that day. What it's like to be Adam, to kill in rooms, and then pistol and... Jesus, dude. Still to this day, one event from the shootings will stay stuck in my head. Survivor recalls hearing a little boy scream, "Don't kill me," and Adam replied, "Well, you're here," and then multiple shots were heard. That Roskill shot was amazing, LMAO. I think I need to lay low, though. Can't take any chances. Okay, I am adding it for AJ, and I don't know what. It's not odd. This is evil. Evil. If you don't want to use the word evil, find a darker word to use. It's not odd. It's the worst of the humanity embodied into a person all at once. I'm explaining this. Shooter was 23. I'm explaining this. If someone reads this, I don't interpret this as something real. They're referring. They were in middle school, referring. They're a child in these. This is excerpts of his diary that I wrote, manifesto, but it's more written like a diary. Couldn't translate it earlier. It's from the videos of him flipping through it just to catch you guys up on what we're reading quick. Let me pull it up. Bookmarks. I had retweet. Did I retweet it? Yeah. So he goes through. Is it in this video? No, this one. Oops. Yeah. So it's the shooter it's the pages from the diary in here just screenshotted and translated so we can maybe get an idea if there is a motive or anything, but the motive to me looks like just hatred of the darkest places of the internet and real life, but mostly the internet, embodied and like driven by the hatred that has been consumed from the internet. So that's what we're reading right now. And I flipped through a bunch of them, so we're just reading it and translated. I'm explaining this. If someone reads this, don't interpret this as something real. This won't carry that much significance. And if I do something, authorities' news will probably stop at nothing to read this. Fuck you guys. I just hope I can plan this down the road. Anyway, I fucking love the idea of being that scary, horrible monster standing over. Oh my god, dude. I don't want to read that, dude. Oh boy, I don't want to read any of that. It's on screen though if you want to. That is dark. It's not good energy to speak out loud, so but you can read it there. It's not good. Talking about uh what he wants to do to powerless kids. That's so fucked. I think the shooters who know what they're doing, shooters that plan for violence, I must add Adam Lanza, Nicholas Cruz, Eric, and Dylan. That's the Columbine shooters. Vladislav Rosklov. Isn't that the... That was the Russian one. Anders Breivik. I review their status. I feel obligated to follow their path. Maybe in the same god. Lowercase g. I want to kill Logan. I hate that effing vile spaz. Massive man-child stormweeb. Big liar and suck off. I hate his fake ass personality. The kind of person who will always try to outdo your stories with some exaggerated stories. Who's Logan? I don't know who Logan is. We're targeting a person named Logan here. Given my luck, he would be the mother effort to run my one save the day that one of my biggest fears is getting tackled and arrested, especially before I'm able to inflict a lot of damage and deaths. I want to die in the attack. I have always been suicidal, at least since adolescence. I could never find a good explanation. I have a loving family and a good support system of people that want to see me thrive. For some reason, the fact that I have a pretty good life and the fact that I want to kill people have never correlated to me. I simply do not really care about my life, only caring about my impact on other people. So I think the best way, if you could understand, this is a soulless husk of what's left of a human. Now I can even call this person a human, but there's no it's hatred of everything is what seems to be driving the driving force. There's no, like, you can't paint this person into one basket of like they are this. If I feel like they're influenced by the internet and the hatred of like the Nazi 4chan or 8chan internet that exists, especially with the messaging. So you could definitely draw, that pipeline. But in general, though, it wouldn't fit into the two-party system of American politics. It wouldn't fit into that. You couldn't paint them left or right. It's right, but beyond the pale of right. That does exist, and we see some of the. That's why I call MAGA out. If you're like MAGA and you're like wondering what you call them, because MAGA pulls from this dark shit. They do. It's like a dark magic, and MAGA grabs it all the time and plays with it, and it's not. It's parts of the internet that should be forgotten or actually federally deleted, but then people will cry about free speech and shit. So we can't have it deleted by the federal government. Then you got to understand that this is coming from the worst parts of the internet, and it's fueled by Nazis and people that are schizophrenic fascists on the internet. Yeah, I mean, racist just falls into it. It's part of being a Nazi. I gave a fuck about anyone else. I want people to feel the opportunity. I would take them out like Adam did his mother. Lord knows we need less of that in this effing pool of effing idiots. I have tried and failed to not be a racist. I can't help it. I have tried and acted like an open-minded person, but time and time again I am forced to realize the stereotypes are all true. Damn, sitting next to those families of grobby-ass Mexicans. They are loud, obnoxious, and inconsiderate. Training to shoot was life-destroying. That has no gas and has almost made me lose laughing and encouraging him. I don't know, that's skibbity writing. The Mexicans are not really known for their intelligence. They are funny and wild animals that got here being around them and their culture. Dirty people. I hate interacting with ones that can hardly speak English. But they are like effing retarded. Most probably are. I also hate Arabs and Indians. I just feel them disgusting. He censors that. Oh, maybe the AI censored the N word. I think the AI so he wrote the N word out, and I think the AI censored it. The AI translation. So N word can be all right. Most of them not feel white. Loud, self-entitled, who was kings as N word. I truly admire killers like Dylan Roof, Brandon Tarrant, and Patrick Crucis. I feel disappointed if white coward killers didn't stand taller. So now that line I draw to the schizophrenic Nazi right on the internet is very clear. Very clear here. There should be no doubt about it. No doubt about where this person was getting their hatred from with rhetoric like this. Yeah, it's hate. Yes, it is hate, but it's specific too in some areas. Planning for something much bigger, but I want to die. I have it a hard, fast attempt. All these events and stories have only fueled a fire in me to do it right, to take time and plan for every outcome. I often don't find myself aligning with these killers' specific ideologies. I think Nicholas Cruz and Patrick Crucis and Brandon Tarrant are my idols. White people should rule the world and minorities show antagonism. Did anyone read this today? Did anyone covering this read the actual? I guess I will continue. I'm not gonna read if it's talking about kids like he was and it's just dark shit. I'll not read it. But I think did anyone go into this today? This kind of paints a picture. I don't know. I think they should have rights and opportunities. I just hate them. Don't get me started on Somalis. Jeez, dude. Crude, sad society, criminal, violent animals, totally irredeemable. I seem to fantasize myself doing almost all mass shootings, but with particular scorn shootings over places like malls and theaters. Like I do love James Holmes, his theater attack is top of the legend. I always wished I had kept going and didn't give up. I am glad his life to that incident was his main. I imagine also setting his apartment I imagine also setting his apartment bombs didn't blow up the same as Eric and Dylan's bombs. Imagine how amazing the amplitude of destruction would be. I don't think I have ever heard of an attacker's bombs or some kind of second attack working. They either don't work properly, set the shit up, or cops' rate of destruction would be. Bombs or some kind of set the disarm the threat before it works. So sad. Why? Or maybe they wanted. I don't even know if I do this because I'm suicidal. No. I don't know if not every page is getting translated. That's fine. I know I could read this entire fucking diary actually. Wait, what? I don't even know if I do this because I'm suicidal. I've wanted to kill myself since I found out what I am and what world we live in. I hate the system of corruption that seems to have no other end but fire and murder as a case of the healthcare attack. I think the steps we think Americans take to prevent these tragedies are a joke. So this is probably the first instance of some political motivation or like some type of virtue, which is go fuck yourself because you shot kids. So that I don't care what you believe in. I don't care if we live in a you say we live in a capitalist hellscape and there's no future. You kill kids, I hope you're in hell. I hope you burn I hope the Christian belief of hell and that you burn for eternity is real for this person. That's what I hope for. Because I don't care. But this is probably the first instance now going from diary mode to having some thoughts about America. It seems like I just don't want people to kill people or die. I have found myself down in the past wishing I could jump into someone's body for a day, commit a horrible massacre, then return to my body with all my memories. Yeah, it would have been great again to have anyone see this if that was possible. Or like this person couldn't have been normal to engage with like on a like talking with in person. Mass shootings in video games. God. I hate those Russian shitbait provocateurs informing binges as fluent in my plot. But if I would like to be, I also wish I could do this on a computer so I could edit and move things around, but I can think zero chances. I am instead sad. I missed my chance to be a student school shooter. Now that I am an adult, it would be so much harder to get into a school and carry out an attack. I don't know if that was my preferred target. I think the idea of children being shot, so no, I think the idea of children being shot, I don't feel as much excitement when I hear about shootings at theaters or malls. Jesus Christ, dude. So they were fueled by the fact that it was kids because that is would be more of a obviously is more evil. See how I tell you they're self-aware of their own evil. Self-aware of their own evil, get able to gaslight, give it to a behavioral person that's a doctor that would be able to tell you what this is, but this is multiple layers of gaslighting and then self-awareness of everything. Like this person wasn't confused as to what they believed in and what they wanted to do. They were like, I'm evil. I fantasize about mass murders. I idolize mass murderers, and I'm going to carry this out because I want to be the most evil thing ever. And that's not, I'm not making that up. That's in this writing. I would have to intrude into it. So literally, like writing about what they would have to do to enter a school. Lone shooting a classroom or hallway would be nothing compared to the massive flesh at a festival. My God, dude. I want to read that. So details as to judging or trying to decide a scenario of how you could take out more people in a mass murder. Then that's what this is detailing. With regards to my motivations behind the attack, I can't really put my finger on a specific purpose. It definitely wouldn't be for racism or white supremacy. Those fools seem to always get clowned or jailed. I don't really like blaming groups of people of color. I don't give enough of a shit about them to take my life over them. If I did carry out something rash, motivations would mostly be against filthy Zionist Jews. And that's pure anti Semitism there, and then Free Palestine. I think my dream would be to shoot up a mall or a mid grade school like Adam, but that has probably only realistically up to sometime in 2025. I don't want to do it too far ahead of mess. I do it to please myself. So, like, I clocked that earlier. It's a fetish. Is there a is this so usually it's in cases we have the we have political motivations obviously with manifestos or they had a goal in mind. And this person is just um like driven by the pleasure of a mass murder. Because of the way my mind is, I'm going to have to run to some errands outside just to analyze. I can really relate, and now I say the leading factor in my target is maybe gun control. I think it is horrible that these events happen, and I don't think it would be harder for people like me to carry out these attacks. I said I might not be willing until unclear tax stamp, possibly referring firearms regulation paperwork. But criminals with intentions are not going to follow rules. I recently heard a rumor that James Holmes, the Aurora theater shooter, may have chosen venues that were gun-free zones. I would probably aim the same way to shoot on the run and maybe change some minds. Where did I get these writings? From his book. Just translated. We had finally a Trump account did something relevant. They're not even a big Trump account. Less than 10K, but they AI translated all the Cyrillic writings. You want me to? Here, I'll repost it so you can. I'm gonna be shit out on X for retweeting a Trump White House update, but I stream evidence. I'm only retweeting it so you can read the writings. But boy, is that gonna be weird. I retweeted Kash Patel and a Trump. I'm gonna get cooked. I don't care though. They're gonna be like, "Oh God, he's MAGA." Retweeting Trump counts. But I didn't have the time today to screenshot every post and then do it. So it looks like this account did. All right, I'm mentally taxed from reading this. It's the same, it's the same thing. I'm not going to keep reading this now because I'm drained after it now because it's a lot of just vile hatred. So, I mean, I just one of the random ones, just to hammer it home. Targets such as children or innocent civilians, that would bring me the most gain. I shouldn't, though, for the sake of my family. But I will. Targets like Musk, Trump, or oil significance XX from Exxon or Nestle or something. This would still bring hatred and criticism to my family, but I think with more heart. So that means they understood how hatred is wielded. Like I've been telling y'all, they were self-aware about that. And many others would view my actions as heroic and necessary for the better progression of society. Like, am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Am I neutral? No, nothing. I want a better society. I hate fascism. I hate inequality. I also love when kids get shot. I love to see a death toll real. What a fucking psycho. Yeah, I'm done reading his writings. They're all there. They're on my Twitter or on the Trump account. I just I reposted. I'm gonna be doing gaming after this. I'm not going to bed with just this, but I needed to. This was on my mind anyways, and I couldn't have focused on gaming if this was on my brain because all of this. I was just thinking about all of this on the way to the vigil and then on the way home. I'm like, I got to do a stream, and now after reading all of that, it's validated my gut feelings. It's unfortunately validated it. But to bring it back to one of the messages he had on his Glock, and that one stuck with me. I don't know if we can speed up to it here. Just to hear, if you missed it from earlier today, so you could just see that it was hatred, and we just read it, so I read it to you. The most disgusting writings I've ever seen. So I got Jesus as the headshot, okay, on the target, but then the magazines have writings on them too. More than 10. Making weird ass fucking noises. I'm the woker baby. Why so curious?
Woker baby. Why so curious?
It's just a permaban for Mark Davis in the chat. I'm not even gonna entertain that. I don't believe in a single fucking thing this psycho believes in. Fuck this God, or fuck this world. Where is your God? It's theatrical because all of this is taken from internet culture, dark corners of the internet shit. That's why it sounds cringe or whatever, because it's or familiar. Because it's things that we see on the internet every day. You log into X and you see half the shit he wrote on his magazines in 3 seconds.
Skibbity Riz.
Scum gang
Gum gang.
for the children written on there with that symbol. What's the numbers? 666 plus 79419. So that goes to that devil cult I was telling y'all about. What's the second number? I gotta do this on the different tabs in case it's something absolutely bad. I don't know what's the 79419 mean. The brain fried from all the memes. Yeah, this is dark internet embodied into a person. I don't know what the second set of numbers means. It's 79419. And then the freaking high capacity magazine.
Fucking rip and tear.
Sponsored by BlackRock, which that's probably, you know what? That's probably inspired by the Pennsylvania shooter in a weird one, because I still think Trump set that up. That's my opinion though. But that one is for that was the message on there was from that. And we already just read that he's the sponsored by BlackRock thing. That's an ode to the Pennsylvania shooter that shot at Trump. We already read that he's obsessed with shooters. He's obsessed with it. So why would the Pennsylvania shooter be not one of the ones he's obsessed with?
That's the big one.
It's a zip code.
Don't forget to live, laugh,
Live, love, laugh.
love.
Who's Vicky Weaver? Ruby Ridge? The wife of Randy Weaver. Watched that Ruby Ridge documentary on Netflix like a couple years ago. Ruby Ridge standoff. We told you something like this would happen if you kept lying and brainwashing mentally ill people. Yeah, it's just go fuck yourself. How about that? Do that instead. So, if you don't know, Ruby Ridge was the siege of the cabin occupied by the Weaver family in Boundary County, Idaho, August of 1992. On August the 21st, deputies of the United States Marshals came to arrest Randy Weaver under a bench warrant for his failure to appear on federal firearms charges after he was given the wrong court date. In the standoff, FBI sniper Lon Horichi shot Weaver, then he shot Harris. But the second shot also hit and killed his wife, Vicky. So that's why Vicky Weaver is written on the Glock. But then also that one stuck with me. This is the one that stuck with me from the video. There is no message. There is one, obviously, of carrying out hatred. I wish there was a stronger word. I really wish there was. Hatred makes it sound not as severe as what we're looking at and dealing with here, or what we did, what Minneapolis went through yesterday with this mass shooting and this mass shooter. And that one is the one that stuck with, is that there is no message, and that is in a roundabout way likely true, because they just wanted to carry out chaos and feel the pleasure of fulfilling his fantasy of carrying out a mass shooting. And I say that based upon the writings that they had. But also, this is just all my opinion. All of it could have just been him gaslighting us in the book, and maybe he did have an ulterior motive. Who knows? They're dead now, and you're gonna have the real investigators and the feds and smarter people than me go into all of this stuff and probably find a clearer picture. I'm just telling you what, some shit was off today. Shit wasn't right. It didn't sit right with me. We sat through it all earlier today or yesterday now, and it just, none of this sat right with me. I'm like, this is like, and maybe it was because I was looking for maybe in a roundabout way, I was also looking for a way to paint this person like, oh, this person's like, I was maybe subconsciously trying to do that, and then seeing what we saw of all this hate, nuke India, that Satan symbol on there again, or that the other mass shooter symbol on his weapon. And then I'm just like, and it just made me want to look into it further as to, man, what was this person engaging with? It's like a creepy Timu version of like a Joker video he's trying to do here with his weapons that he used. Kill pedos.
Well, you're here.
So it stuck with me, and I think this one probably will for a while. The FSB shirt. Everything he did was designed to draw the most hate, whether either wearing it and repping it himself or drawing hatred to a group of people. That being like the Jewish people, either wearing it and repping it himself, hatred to a group of, and like people, or black people, Hispanics, and he's trans, or she's trans. Am I taken down? Uh-oh. Oh, are we good? Uh-oh. Oh, my internet went fucky for a second. Uh-oh. Oh, am I okay, internet? Can I talk about this? Am I gonna get canceled? See, that's why I was worried earlier. I knew I was in a gray area. I know I'm in a fucking gray area, dude. I'm scared. Just want to talk about my stream restarted like 3 times on Twitch. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, you didn't get a notification. Yeah, we're about to wrap up here soon. We're not going to stick with this hatred all night, because I can't sleep with it. But it seems like this person grabbed every hatred or anything they could draw attention to themselves for hatred, or hatred they could bring to others. Shitting on 420, using what is that face called? That's a meme. What's that? What's the name of that on the internet? Are you braver than me? I mean, at this point, I mean, I walked through riots. So, I mean, what's the internet? I mean, what buildings were on fire? I was live in Ukraine during a war. So, I mean, what am I supposed to do? The only thing I can do is like show it. The troll face. Is that like the name of it? Is that what it's called? But either way, that gives more credit to my argument that this is just the internet, dark internet embodied. On that, I think that is that's the plank that was used to cover the door. I'm not for sure, but it was mentioned in the press conference today. More bigoted, more N-words all over it. No escape. Yeah, that had to have been the 2x4 board he put up on the door. So, we did learn. Thanks for watching. That was at the end of his video. That's some, well, so does does this person being trans matter at all? No, not at all. It doesn't. You're gonna have people that want an easy scapegoat. They want an easy answer to this. This person killed kids because trans indoctrination, and that feeds a bias. That's a comfortable answer, I guess, if you're bigoted to trans people, and you need that because then that feeds that. But the truth is that this person, I feel, well, I don't know if it's the truth. I shouldn't say the truth. I feel truth is still in the air. But based on what they wrote, and I highlighted some of the texts, can't remember where it was now. Like, hold on, I know I gotta go back to it one time where they talked about their appearance. Yeah, where they were focused on my name sounds like a school shooter name, and my face isn't crazy enough. LOL, I ain't enough of. So in the hatred of that, of the what they're consuming, of the violence, and clearly involved in gutter communities, I feel they created the trans image of themselves to direct hatred to trans people because it's a low hanging fruit. Because, oh, trans person, hate immediately. It's like, or even if there is not a trans person involved, trans people get tagged in all the MAGA hate every day. They do. They just trans people will take strays. Like, ain't even like not even a gay issue or whatever, and like, or gay people will get strays out of nowhere. Or like the right will go, how can we make this about trans people, out of nowhere? So that exists. So I feel because that person's aware of that, if I'm aware of that, and y'all are aware of that, and this person knew how to wield the fucking hatred of the internet, I think it was a choice, a purposeful choice, not because they wanted to truly be their identity of a woman, because it added to the subsequent hatred that would come to trans people. That'd be like a posthumous, another one. Like, he's dead. He was able to carry out his hatred acts, wrote it all over everything, made it so clear how much he hates everything and everyone, and then added to it by creating himself into a trans person, but not truly being a trans person. But it's a fine line because I don't want to invalidate trans existence. But anyway, I think if anything to come out of this, people that are drawing trans narratives, like, they're agreeing that trans people exist. So some type of resilience there. Because in order to draw a conspiracy, you'd have to admit that trans people are real. Beyond that, that's what I feel. I feel that that was part of the makeup of things to draw in for the hatred. And I think, and even if there was no doubt this person was trans, that wouldn't matter at all. That wouldn't matter at all. I know there's gay people that are MAGA. Okay? And they're MAGA as fuck. So, and to the right wing, if you're gay people are like left leaning, I guess, all of them, but that ain't the case at all. That ain't true at all. Just because they have a sexual preference or an orientation, or I want to identify a certain way, does not mean they're left wing. I don't know why that's a reality at all. I don't know why, like, oh, trans person, every single liberal and leftist has to answer for this person now. Like, bro, we have a pedophile in the office in the White House, but we don't have Republicans aren't answering for that one. Republicans aren't out here answering for the fact we had a pedophile sitting in the Oval Office right now. So they were like, they get hit with it, but then they go and hide. So even if I'm wrong, and they didn't just wield the trans identity to draw more hatred to the trans community, then even if they were legitimately trans, it doesn't take away from the fact, it doesn't add to any argument about No, it was the gender dysmorphia and the drugs caused them to do this. There was no drug. Maybe there was drugs, but it seems like even without drugs, this person was obsessed with mass shootings, mass shooters, killing kids. Actually, like they fantasized about it ahead of time, and that is not rooted in any normal either side of politics here in America. That ain't normal at all. Either side, neither side, neither side. The first neither side. There you go. Except for the far, far, far stretches of the online internet Nazi right. Okay? But I will give some leeway to normal Norman conservatives because they don't have the fucking access to that part of the internet. They don't even have access to their Facebook account. They don't even know how to get the password anymore. They don't know how to log in. Okay? So they got to make another sock account. Can't remember their passwords. So they ain't. I can't like say every single conservative is aware of the Nazi alt-right on the internet. That would be a lie. That would be a misinformation. But it's when the MAGA administration and like you got figures within Trump administration, including Trump himself, pulling from that, like I mentioned earlier, the black magic of the alt-right, because they definitely pull from it and use narratives about trad wives and oh man, it's bad, and it's all red pill shit, but like more extreme. You know, I'm not gonna label every conservative that, but he's in the extreme of it from what I saw, at least on the internet and what that can engage in. So you got Laurel Loomer here trying to say that he's a Muslim terrorist, basically. And that's insane. He clearly wrote that he hates any brown person. He called them animals in his text. So that's Laurel Loomer and MAGA though, because lazy journalism. Because it feeds a bias. Because he hates Muslim shooter. Oh yeah, we hate that. That's easy. That's easy hate. Oh, I figured that. Oh, you trans? Oh, leftist. Yeah, I figured that out. Now I can comfortably hate, and be as hateful as the shooter was. Which I mean, honestly, some of the messages written on the weapons, this app that I'm on right now, like I mentioned earlier, you log in and you can scroll and see a lot of that writing, but written by people and users of this app. The British Council building in Kyiv has been destroyed by a Russian missile.
So this building behind me is the British Council, and they basically support peace and prosperity between Ukraine and the United Kingdom. And
well, Europe, send troops in. Send troops in, you Britain. So you also have this source too. I managed to download 20 minutes and 37 seconds of video journal of Robert Westman, a Minneapolis school shooter, seconds before YouTube took it down. Go play your games, man, brother. You're saying that as if it's a joke. It is 1:20 in the morning, and we're holding 400 strong here. Okay, trying to deep dive into this to make sense of it for some people and myself, because what I saw today was something I haven't seen other than from the internet, and I'm like had to verify: is this dude really, or is this person really pulling from that? And from what we saw tonight during this stream, at least from the translations, and feel free to do it yourself. Use your AI tools. I retweeted it multiple times. The Trump White House updates. That's going to be... I hope someone logs in tomorrow and sees that I retweeted it and be like, what the fuck happened? Why is he retweeting Trump White House? But again, I only did that because they did it one by one. I was lazy, my bad. But I was at the vigil, so I wouldn't have had time to do this anyways. But say, for example, you guys, fuck this Trump White House update page. I also posted the videos of the shooter. Damn, dude, my stream was not doing well. 1 minute clips. Fuck it. Yeah, there was a lot of people there. I mean, shit, 1 minute clips, okay. Easy clips from the vigil. Really good vigil, though. Really well done. Between the messages, the prayer. Man, those bagpipes, though, dude. I can't sit through bagpipes. I had a moment. Everyone did, though. They started the bagpipes. I was cooked at that point. Anyway, I reposted it from this Champagne Joshy. And if you want to go into the thread and screenshot every page yourself just to verify that Trump account, then there you go. It's 20 minutes long, though. A lot of screenshots. AI can do it. AI will do the translation. You just need to do the work to screenshot everything. But you really want to go into the darkness and do that, then feel free. But I read a couple excerpts, and if it's not writing you're going to be, it's not good. So it's your choice if you want to really dive into that and see what that dude had to say. But based on what we saw here, it is pure evil. And again, I don't know if there is a stronger word for evil. I know evil is kind of connected to like mythos and religious stuff, but I mean, it kind of is a commonly understood term for what this is. Alleged footage filmed by the Annunciation Catholic church shooter. Are these mass shooters? Jewish names on the weapon? No, I'm done rabbit holing it. I'm just falling into their stupid mind games anyway. Nice. Meanwhile, in America, anyways. Meanwhile, our federal government, to start our Thursday. God damn, dude. But yeah, I mean, mass shootings, guys, they're not easy. They never are they're not getting easier. To talk about, especially with the amount of misinformation that comes in at the speed of light at everything. And that's with any breaking news story. But like with this, with kids, you would think that the buck stops with the kids, but it doesn't, and it hasn't. And then when you think, oh, maybe, and boy, like I said tonight, I hope that's really a hopium that change can happen. But we haven't seen it yet, and kids have been getting killed and mowed down in schools or families at movie theaters or at a club or whatever for years now, or at a concert, and you just get people out just getting mowed down out there, and nothing's changed. So, will this be the instance that changes everything in a Trump era? I hope. That's all I got. I got nothing like concrete. There's no policies. It sounded like the Minnesota politicians are going to start getting some shit going. But we live in Trump, honestly. We live in the Trump White House. And you know damn well under that White House, not a single gun law or anything. But I could be wrong, because Trump did bump stocks. So he could have a Uno reverse and say, I'm banning high capacity mags or something. And that would be like, what? He'll piss his base off, though. Oh, boy. Oh, will they be so mad? You thought Cracker Barrel was especially he's not doing well in his base. They're mad. They're mad about 600,000 Chinese students coming, fucking buying steak in companies. They're mad. They're mad for real, actually. They get culture war victories, so they like cope with that. They get the Cracker Barrel logo and the Gulf of America and Sydney Sweeney jeans that are made in China. So they're like, we win. But we're not winning. Okay, we're losing. Normal coverage, guys, at noon. Okay? Normal when it's nighttime. It's dark. It's late. I'm just up because this stuff keeps me up, especially involving children. Too late to play Metal Gear because I want to play it when people are up, and I know we're all up right now. But I mean, I need to. I don't know, man. Probably Madden. You guys okay with Madden? I want to play. It's 1:30 a.m. right now. But I'm probably just gonna do some. I'm brainwashed. Okay, well, how am I brainwashed? Explain it. Hold on. Explain it. How am I brainwashed? What have I said that's been not common sense? I would like to know. Jurassic Park. I don't think Battlefield is really. You know, I don't really know if it's the best time right now. You have said, but are still responsible. Magic Arena. You made Chimega cry today. I would like you to explain how I'm brainwashed. Probably not. They probably left, huh? This keeps you up too. I know we all need a rest, and that's the thing y'all should be doing too. Or come over and hang out with us on the gaming, at least in the chat, and like talk to people. Because I have the game, like we game for hours, y'all. I'm not just gaming for like 20 minutes. We did a 7-hour banger stream last 3,000 views on a gaming stream. What? 7 hours. We're over there. We are over there usually after my news. We're over there all night. So if you can't sleep and news is keeping you up, then come stop by and say hi. I'm over there. Like Eva's fire. Metal Gear's fire. We'll play it tomorrow though, because it's already 1:30 in the morning and I want to play it when I'm a little bit more awake. I'm gonna play Madden because it's the easiest thing I can think of to play and not put brain power into completely. And that's I'm gonna be distracted by thinking about this shooting today. So I'm gonna play Madden just for that reason. So and we can talk about it too. Like you guys can talk about it. Football could be boring to you, but just bring your I'm a diehard Vikings fan. So we'll be the Vikings. We got Adam Thielen back. I'm happy about that. And I'm just gonna get lost in my Madden for at least a couple hours. But then I'm gonna go to bed. And then we'll be up back again at noon covering the day's nonsense. Whatever Trump has for us today. And Trump's America. All right, I have it scheduled. I'll see you guys over there. Madden is good. I like it. I think it's fun to watch, to be honest. But we have some people that don't like sports, so it's not bad. Not a bad watch. Madden itself is not. I wouldn't recommend getting it because it's Madden and it's EA. But beyond that, I mean, not bad. I'm a diehard Viking fan. Especially if you're a Viking fan, come on over. If you're from Minnesota and you like the Vikings, come on. Come take your mind off the mass shooting in Trump's America for a little bit at least until you go to bed. Yeah, come fall asleep with the stream on. Be like this, and then when you and then be like this, and then fall asleep, and then the phone falls on you, and then maybe you wake up or not. But get into that mode and come hang out with Madden. All right, y'all. This has been a deep dive into the mass shooting, a little bit, some late night thoughts, things that keep me up. And I hope we actually did learn something tonight, which nothing good. Didn't learn anything positive, unfortunately. But at least I hope I closed any type of narrative about the shooter, about identity, politics, bullshit. This person was the most hate-filled, evil husk of a human that you could barely call a human. Okay, they're like, if you could find a more hateful word than evil that isn't a bigot word, then use that to describe this person. That's what you can do, okay? Because there's no depth to this person that they were going to. They were obsessed. Like, just to close it out, they were obsessed with mass shootings. They were obsessed with people that perpetuated them. They fetishized the idea of mass murdering kids specifically, because that would be much more of a meaningful act than adults because of children. So, and all of that, I think, I mean, you can evil, but I would say worse than evil, whatever that would be. That's what this person was. No political ideology that I can see other than clear inspiration from the internet alt-right. Okay. Because I don't think I could say honestly that conservatives are for killing kids in schools. Like, as much as I'm against them politically and I'm mad that they are soft on MAGA, I don't think that's one of the things they believe in either. So this is coming from the internet, and that's where I'm at with it. So if you guys haven't, I don't think that's one of the things they believe in either. this is so if you guys or if you watch this stream after the fact, because I know a lot of y'all are sleeping, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll read them. If you have any of your own theories about this, also my about the Satan cult and that he co-opted the trans identity to actually bring hate to trans people and not actually be like a legitimate like trans woman, which is I think that's another topic though, and I don't want to like get into that unless I'm a little more educated. But I'm not also trying to invalidate trans existence. That's not what I'm doing. I'm invalidating this person specifically and their attempt to co-opt trans people based on their own writings, and that's my evidence now. That was a feeling beforehand, but now I have the writings and the evidence to back that up. We'll see if it sticks. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Come to gaming. Peace.